Hi, I am Shamika, and I am here for week 8, and we're discussing mandated reporting this week and my role as a future counselor on mandating reporting when it comes to child abuse and neglect. So I did some research on the Child Welfare Information Gateway and for the state of Florida that I live in. And I'm going to answer the questions as required by, the discussion board. So I did research the state statutes and the state guidelines for the state of Florida, and there was some pretty good information there that I felt like was very clear and concise for counselors to use in the state of Florida where it comes to the mandated reporting of child abuse and neglect. For the first question, it says, how does your state define child abuse and neglect? Well, Florida's pretty clear on what they define as child abuse and neglect, and their definition is abuse means any willful act or threat or act that results in any physical, mental, sexual abuse, injury, or harm that causes or is likely to cause a child's physical, mental, or emotional health to be significantly impaired. The next question is, what are the signs of child abuse and neglect? And let me also say there were some examples also of doing things like purposely giving a child poison, alcohol, drugs, any, uncontrolled substance that, a child underneath the age of 18 should not have. Leaving a child without adult supervision over a certain amount of time in the home, unattended, and it breaks it down by specific ages and the different time limits. Using inappropriate or excessively harsh discipline to a child, beating them excessively long, leaving marks, just doing things that are conspicuous and noticeable to the public's eye that, is definitely like going above what normal discipline should be. Sexual battery or even allowing any type of sexual misconduct to happen to the child. Using mechanical devices or unreasonable restraints, or even doing things such as locking a child in a closet or, anything like that, which goes along with extended periods of isolation to control the child, long durations of punishment and things like that. Some signs also, seeing a child come into the office with bruises, noticeably just very shy, and, just some of the signs that you can pick up on when there's something that looks like suspected neglect or abuse, or child is unusually thin, looks neglected, clothing appears to be, worn, child looks like they haven't eaten or are complaining of being hungry excessively, and may even be reporting these things to their teacher or someone at school. And this also includes emotional abuse as well as abandonment. The next question is, which professions and in what period of time are required to report suspected child abuse and neglect? Okay, so in the state of Florida, the following persons are mandated reporters. That would be physicians and any type of medical examiners, chiropractors, anyone in the medical field, to include nurses and hospital personnel. It also specifies other health or mental health professionals. This is where the counselors come into: teachers, social workers, daycare providers, also law enforcement officers or judges, in fact, foster care, things of that nature. And it also says any person who knows or has reasonable cause to suspect that a child has been physically or emotionally abused is mandated to report in the state of Florida. The time limit, it says immediately as soon as the abuse is suspected. And we are to contact the Central Abuse Hotline. When a child abuse report has been established, Child Protective Agency has 24 hours after the receipt of the report to initiate an investigation. And the department shall complete its investigation within 60 days. That's the procedure for reporting child abuse or neglect. Now, what is the penalty for not reporting child abuse or neglect? The penalties for failure to report this would be it could be upon conviction. If you're found that you knew and you didn't report it as a mandated reporter, you can be imprisoned for a term not to exceed 5 years. You can be fined $5,000. And if it's an institution such as, a school, college, university, things like that. And if there are administrators or personnel who know and fail to report, they can be subjected to fines of up to $1 million for failing to report for each incident. And these guidelines fall under Florida Statute 39.01. So that's where all of this information can be found. This is our last week. I wish everyone good luck. Hope to see you again soon in some of our other classes. And I've really enjoyed this class and I've learned a lot. Happy holidays to everyone and good luck.